We're going to try this again. Welcome to the next episode of Midweek Drum Hang. Today's guest is going to be Marlon B. Lewis from Philly. Awesome dude. I was just talking about him. I had to sign back on because he was acting funny. I couldn't get connected with him. Hopefully, that'll be different this time. Come on, Marlon. Well, hi, Dustin. How are you doing? Okay. Any minute now. I can't connect to it. So, one more time. I'll be back. Hopefully, this time, third time's a charm, they say. So, oh, never mind. Here he is. Here he is. Oh, unable to join. Yo, Marlon, what up? I'm trying to connect you, but it is not allowing me right now. Oh, here we go. Now it's... No, unable to join still. There might be a setting you have to change to be able to go live if you haven't done this before. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Yo!
Yo, what's going on, dude?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. I can't complain.
That's good. Where you at right now?
In the crib, well, in family's house right now. Let me actually try to mute this.
Oh, there we go. Yo! Oh.
Yo, what's going on, dude?
Oh wait, now we've got an audio feedback situation.
No, that was my computer.
Gotcha.
I was trying to see. So for whatever reason, my computer is not allowing me to do it. I'm not sure if that's a restriction.
Yeah, computer won't work. It has to happen with the phone.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the one thing with Instagram. It has to go off phone for live. You can't use the camera on your computer, which sucks because that would be a lot easier than having to do your phone.
That sucks.
Yeah. So where in Philly are you?
I'm actually in Delaware at the moment.
You're in Delaware. Okay.
But I live in West Philly.
You live in West Philly.
Yeah.
Cool. And you've been always in Philly?
All my life. Well, I mean, other than when I lived in Boston for about 2 years.
When you're at Berkeley?
Yeah.
When did you go to Berkeley? I didn't realize you went to Berkeley. I just thought that you were a Philly guy who played with a bunch of people. I wasn't sure if you were buddies with Spanky, and that's how maybe your connection with Lauryn Hill happened.
Well, yeah, that is pretty much how that happened. Not pretty much. That's exactly how that happened. That's my bro. Great guy. I was actually in Boston 2008 till about 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, early 2010, like May 2010, I left Boston.
Nice. I'm jealous. I always wanted to go. And by the time I had a chance, I decided that I wasn't going to do college. I was just going to go tour and play music. But there's a small part of me that still wishes that I had that experience from everyone that I've talked to and known and bandmates that went to Berkeley of just how that whole area is and all of the top, best musicians in the country, if not around like the world, going there. So
Yeah, it's a lot of amazing musicians. Uh, I was there with a lot of big name people. Justin plays for Robert Glasper.
oh, nice.
I was there with Matt Garcica.
Oh, dude, he's
Uh, yeah, it was a lot of killers. This dude named Jan Hunter, DJ Sean Wright was there when I was there.
oh wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of really good players. I could go on and on all day.
Yeah, and
Wow,
Mono, I saw that photo, so you
he
knew.
was there. Yeah,
It's crazy the different classes that people have, because like before I was doing just on Instagram and doing it this way, I was starting like a podcast, and I only got two drummers in before like all of this happened, and I wanted to do more of like in-person interviews and good microphones, direct sound and everything, just you know as best quality as I possibly could. And that all ended, but the first one was with Alan from the Disco Biscuits, and he was talking about his experience there and how he grew up with DeAnthony Parks, and DeAnthony was going there, so like he kind of followed him there and had the Berkeley experience, but also was like studying under DeAnthony when he was just kind of starting off doing his thing. So
never knew that. That's pretty awesome.
yeah, I had no idea. I've known Alan for 12 years, and I didn't realize this until like 6 months ago.
If I'm not mistaken, John Blackwell was at Berkeley during that time. John Roberts was there during that time.
I don't know if it's the exact time. I know because Johnny Rab, do you know Johnny?
Yeah.
He was there with Blackwell at the same time.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Like, it's like all the legends. Either they're in North Texas, I feel like, but it's insane.
It's a
Nice.
decade.
So, when did you start drumming?
From what I'm told, I was about 2 years old. Pots and pans banging all in the house, all over, getting on all of everybody's nerves. And then after a while, I guess, progressed into something. People realized that I really wanted to do this. I was serious about it, and they just wanted, kind of put the effort in, to help me grow in it. My mom started getting me lessons or maybe 8 and something like that. But I was so impatient as a kid. I took lessons for a few months and was like, Mom, this is boring. I want to go play basketball. But yeah, man, 2 years old, man. I think that was the official start. And then I started playing in church around 5.
Okay. Yeah, wow. That's incredible. I had Isaac Teal on. Do you know Isaac from Talk?
Yeah.
And he was saying same deal. Like before he was like even born, playing drums and then like starting off in church. And it's crazy the upbringing of being in gospel church and being able to like have music that young and mean that much more to you because of like the spiritual connection to it all. Like I went to temple, raised Jewish. The music is nothing to write home about.
Man.
So definitely didn't help me on any rhythm aspect. But
Hey, everybody has their own, walk of.
yeah.
For gospel, I guess for me it helped because you would think you learn gospel, so many different genres of music. When you're young, you have no clue what's going on. You're like dead. You're like, all right, I don't really know what to do. I'm just playing because they're telling me to play. This is what this song says to play. Like, then you get older and you're like 16, 17, and you're like, oh man, I was playing a Latin beat all this time. Oh man, rock grooves. Oh man, I don't. It's like people nowadays. You got like him, people go crazy. That's a rock groove.
Yeah.
People love it. It's like now that's like a big thing in gospel music. It's like cats all day don't even probably actually go and learn how to type of rock gig or something like that. Play rock art, but that's kind of what it did for a lot of younger kids. It's just it built you up to learn a whole bunch of stuff that they didn't really even know what they were doing because they didn't know what they were teaching. It was something that kind of over time just helped it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can find those kinds of influences in everything and every kind of music now and just how things are. It's all about like the vibe that's set that kind of throws things into genres, but they're all kind of stealing and or borrowing from each other. And because I mean that's what musicians do. We
You
borrow.
know, yeah, we borrow. I'll take it.
Yeah. Good musicians borrow. Best musicians steal. It's kind of just
Borrow
yeah,
thing.
you put your own little spin on it.
I'll give it back, guys.
Yeah. So what was the first like when did you start like gigging, doing this full time professional? Was it like were you playing the Philly music scene before high school, after high school ended,
After college, I was one of the, I want to say weirdos, but like I was just different. I was not the like first off, I always wanted to play basketball. That was like my dream. I had I was about 16, 17 and realized after time like I'm playing myself. I'm so into trying to play basketball and people are trying to pay me a little money for doing, at the time it was church gigs. So it was like I'm doing these little church services and playing here and playing there and these people are willing to pay while I'm going to hurt my body and you know what? I think I'll take this. And it just kept happening over time. I was like, you know what? Basketball, I like playing. But not for me. I can't do it. I like my angles, I like my fingers, all that. I jam my finger many times, get at, but I don't want to be nice. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that aspect of you have to be careful what sports and various things you can do if you're going to play drums. I mean, there are various things, especially like outdoor activities. Because when I was younger, I did a lot of BMX and inline skating and skateboarding and all like the extreme sport stuff. But at a certain point, I had to stop. And recently, I was like, you know what? I never really gave skateboarding a chance, and I regret it. And I wanted to take it up again. Nothing crazy, but I quickly learned that like I can't really do this. Like I'm gonna fuck up my wrist, and I'm gonna be out of job, and it's not gonna be worth it at all.
I actually had my I forgot. I probably was like 10. I actually had her buy me a skate for maybe a week. So too many times I said, "This is doing this ever again." I'm not Tony Hawk.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I really wanted to be Tony Hawk, but I just couldn't do it. And there's no way now at 33 that I'm going to become Tony Hawk. So,
You might as well put me. If I play basketball now, you can put me in the league.
so what was the first like real gig then?
Switzerland, 2009, November, I want to say it was. I got the chance to play for still kind of a gospel gig, but that was the first real gig for me because that was a chance to travel. I got to do 10 shows. Danny. So real fast, I just had to tell the story. One day we were in the car and we stopped. Star Kitchen doing a gig. I forgot where we were going, but we would stop in the car. Rob's driving, Danny's in the front seat, and I was like, "Look, guys, I have to go to the bathroom. This is really bad." The bathroom was at a nice amount of space away. I got out that car and was zooming, man, because I was like, "I can't do this. I'm about to no." Then I started dancing and everything. I said, "Yo, if y'all don't please open this door." People that was so random. I ran out the car like a track star, and they was like, "Man, we did not know you could run that fast." I was like, I'm surprised they didn't catch me on camera. But yeah, man, that gig in it was awesome. Oh, Brian, I'm sorry you are driving. My bad, bro. But yeah, so Switzerland, I think that trip was like a 10-day trip, but we got the chance to do, I want to say like 9 different cities, I would say within the Switzerland country, and it was like really cool because I was like, I've never traveled out the country, let alone got the chance to do something that's cool. I really want to take this serious. Like I want to do this, and then soon after I left school, coming home, being in Philly, hanging out, doing a lot of the Philly scene stuff like we were talking about earlier. I got the chance to do a lot of that stuff. And then it became Kindred the Family Soul. I would say like a couple months after I came home from school. Kendrick the Family Soul, a friend of mine, Dan Davis. He texted my phone randomly and was like, "Hey, bro, what you doing, man?" He's like, you available today?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm available." I think it was like a gig in March or something like that. He's like, "Are you available today?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." Like, all right, cool. I'm gonna just take this music, turn it. It's for Kendrick the Family Soul, and I was like, "Whoa!" My eyes, the way they look just now, same exact thing. Because I was like, "No way!" I was a fan. I was always, a fan being coming up. They had a song called "Here" that's like, it was a major hit back then. So I was like, "Oh man, this is really cool. I get to play for," and that lasted for about 2 3 years.
That's awesome. That's definitely something that, I've never gotten to experience where it's like, I've played with lots of bands, I've traveled all over, but I've never had that experience of like, I'm playing this song for the artist that I loved this song growing up or whatever point it had a significant impact on me, and now I'm playing it for that artist. That's definitely something special. So kudos to that.
Thank you, man. Well, what bands, what bands all you play for? For some of the people in my life don't know, man, we gotta know who Scotty Zwang is too. For we want to hear about Scotty, man.
I mean, I have you on here so that people, can hear about you. You're the impressive one here. I've done mostly within the jam band circuit of things. I mean, that's how I know Mark and Danny and Waldor and like everyone within that scene and kind of surrounding the Disco Biscuits people. Like I was so I guess the Disco Biscuits is the closest, but I've never been in the band. But that like I used to travel and follow your bandmate Mark for like a long time. A really long time. Like I was a Biscuits head. Like I got made fun of by people that weren't necessarily into the Disco Biscuits of how much I love the Disco Biscuits, and like I wore a Disco Biscuits hat all the time, like and around. But I was playing in a rock band. Like we worked with a producer in New York, this guy Kurt Yano, who did a lot in the '90s with Mariah Carey and Public Enemy and that world. And then he started working with pretty much like all the Deitch projects and Soul Live, that crew. So Lettuce and that whole world of stuff, which I knew of them. Like, I've been seeing Soul Live since 2002. So like there was that aspect. But when that band broke up, I was like, you know what? I need to be in this scene that I travel. Like this is what I should be doing. If I play music and I love this music, why not take a stab at a career in that scene and I can be fully passionate about it. And in like 2010, I started working with a Philly band. You might know through like playing at like Time and stuff. Do you know Ben Carp?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in a band with Ben Carp and Ian McGuire called Sonic Spank. And we did party electronic music, essentially. And that was the start of me playing in the scene. And then it just got bigger and bigger. I joined a band at the end of, or beginning of 2013 called Greenhouse Lounge out of Jacksonville, Florida. And was just like every 2-3 weeks on a plane, flying, playing shows, but not living anywhere near my bandmates. And then I joined and was the drummer for Dopapod for 3 years.
Oh yeah, I know.
And then things ended abruptly kind of with that, but I moved to Philly again with my, not fiance at the time, but my fiance now. And as that was happening, Tom was starting Ghostlight. And Mark and Aaron needed us. We're doing like 2 conspirator shows and wanted me to do drums. So it was like I moved here and immediately had 2 gigs. At least that's how it felt. And now, almost 3 years later, been in Philly. That's me in a nutshell. But
hey man, I learned some things today. Yeah, that's why I had to ask.
But yeah, because we didn't meet until
what was that show at Fillmore?
Yeah, so
Or
you guys were opening. I wasn't sure if it was. Yeah, it was because it was right before Jam Cruise, but
yeah,
you guys were opening for Humphreys.
yep,
I
yeah. I was at
thought
the
maybe
Fillmore.
there was some time before then, but I that does make sense that that would be the first. That was definitely the first time we hung out, at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
So how did all of the other like I'm trying to get the timeline because I knew that you subbed for Spanky or did like the Lauryn Hill gig when he wasn't doing it or because it's his gig. Is it his gig and people just sub out when he can't do it?
It's his gig, and when he's not available, I'd say I'd be the main sub, and if I'm not available, or sometimes if I am available, depending on location, sometimes not like if they have like a show on the West Coast, and I know a lot of times the other sub, this guy named Darius Wood, who's an amazing drummer. He lives in Brooklyn or somewhere in New York, but he's also in LA a lot. So anytime they have like West Coast shows or anything like that, a lot of times shows, especially when they don't have all that kind of stuff, getting rooms kind of saves them budget. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Were you doing the Festival Piers show here like 2 years ago? I want to say.
I was there. I didn't do the show,
Got it.
but backstage and hang out and all of that kind of stuff. That
I
was you
had
talking about. Nas was there, right?
what was that?
That was the Nas show where her and Nas.
I don't think so. No, that was well. I know opening was Busta Rhymes and
Yeah,
MIA.
yeah. If I'm not mistaken, Nas show. That
Okay.
was it was either that or one of the, maybe
I
the
might have left like
I don't know.
I would like walk to the venue. It wasn't that far from where I was living at the time in Philly, and like me and my fiance walked there, and probably left a little early and walked back home or whatever. But I had like the worst, scariest experience, well, somewhat health scare at that concert. Um, I was about to say my in ear, but like my earbud, like I had these weird earbuds and it was like being real finicky. I was trying to like fix it and then like trying to take it out and like a part of it came off, but the actual like silicone earbud itself got stuck in my ear during MIA. And I like wigged out. I had this thing lodged in my ear that like I tried to grab out and it just went deeper into my ear canal and was like freaking out. And I turned to my fiance and was like, we have to go right now. I don't know where. Like, we got to get tweezers. Like, go home, try and do this with tweezers. If not, like, we got to go to the emergency room. This is bugging me out. I cannot have this thing wedged in my ear.
I would
And we went home. Tweezers weren't working, but our neighbors were nurses and like husband and wife, and they came over with like hemostats, the clamps,
yeah.
and like they got it out in a second. And then we walked back to the concert and enjoyed Busta Rhymes and Lauryn Hill. But like it was like for a minute, it was the most wigged out I've ever been in my entire life.
Funny question. What time? What time did she get there?
But it wasn't that bad. I'd seen her in the past at like random festivals that we were doing together or whatever, but like and I've definitely waited like a good half an hour, 45, at least 45 minutes to see her before. This wasn't that bad. It seriously was. I remember it was within 15 minutes, which like going back to the biscuits, they can take like a half an hour to get them. So like it's not that bad.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I could do that. But yeah, timeline wise, when did that happen? When that first, I want to say June 2016. I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. Hit me up, and he was like, "Yo, bro. Well, we're a month before. I would say I did a couple rehearsals first, and then did the show. The show was in Utah. It's
Oh
pretty
wow.
dope. It was just random. It was like super random. He called me like out of nowhere, like, "Yo, bro, you wanna you available to do some rehearsals?" I was like, "All right, bet." He was like, "And then I need you to do this show." I was like, "You really want me to do that?" Like in my head, I wasn't gonna ask him that. I'm like, "You really want me to fill it for you?" Big bro, I don't know. This is Lauryn Hill. This is kind of major. Didn't know what to do. Once I got there, I was definitely crazy inside. I was so calm and cool outside, but inside, like how Looney Tunes, when you see them bouncing all over the place, when they like freaking out, I didn't know what to do. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that was the person inside, but I had to be cool about it. It was,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
you're a real professional. That's how you have to be. But I mean, in my head, I'd be like, I mean, the score and Miseducation were like a big part of my upbringing, and especially the score. I mean, that album, like, as far as hip hop, like, changed kind of everything for me. I would listen to that front to back, backwards, forwards, like, constantly. That record is so. I can only imagine. And then obviously for her first solo debut record, that's like absolutely insane.
yeah,
So
it was amazing. She changed the game.
yeah,
That's who knows.
yeah. So
Yeah,
were you with her? Like, where does I know French Montana is pretty recent, but like
yeah.
what about like I didn't know about Brian McKnight or um I thought there was something else maybe, but
Brian McKnight, Ro James.
yeah. Like
Uh,
when is all this kind of taking place within that?
so if we're giving you a timeline of it all, um, so where do we stop at? Kendrick the Family Soul. After Kendrick the Family, at
Yeah,
Guy, I did Guy. Uh, I want to say for about 3 years, from like 2012 to about 2015, something like that. Um, During that time, while doing Guy, that's when I got the chance to fill John Legend for a
that's
month.
what it was. That's what I was thinking about. That's crazy.
All the man, he great dude, killing. MD, great musician, but also a great friend. He was just looking out at the time. We had a mutual friend, Rashid Williams, who plays drums for John Legend, and he was at the time, I want to say, going out on tour with Jill Scott. He was the MD of, became the musical director of Jill Scott at the time, and somebody to fill in, and they had somebody, but they was like, man, why not get a little bro try? So for me already working with him and filling in somewhat for Rashid doing Guy all the time. I mean, after a while, Rashid Guy something I was doing regularly, but at first when I first started it, that was a gig I got for Rashid because he was doing it. So it was pretty cool because doing that gig, I definitely made some mistakes on that. I was a little immature. Not like anything bad, like show wise, like that, but just like, you know, when you're younger and you're not understanding like how, where somebody says, "Hey man, I'm gonna take you to this country," and you travel all over the world, and it's like you got to know how to handle yourself
Yeah,
100 appropriately with everything, meaning like being on time, like making sure that like if you were to go and smoke weed or do whatever you want to do, it's like know how to do these things at your own time, at your own risk, in your own space. Make sure you come back appropriately, doing your job, like all of those things on point. And it's like I know for sure at the time, if I could say percentage, because I always talk percentages, I would say at the time I was probably about 85, 88%. The rest of the little stuff I wasn't doing is probably the little stuff that made it not as great for me, but an amazing experience. I had a lot of fun. Learned a lot. Um, yeah, I learned a lot on that gig. Probably I learned the most of my tour experiences from that gig. Between that, which Rojan legend.
gotcha. By the way, if I'm ever looking confused, it's because sometimes it's cutting in and out, and because I'm taking this and then I'm trying to like put the pieces together and make out exactly what's being said at times, and that happens. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to touring. Like playing the drums and like having that talent obviously is how you get there, but how you stay there are all of these little things that you learn, through your experiences. So when you're starting off big experiences touring like that, and I can imagine, especially in other parts of the world. I mean, I've only really been to like parts of Central America, essentially like Mexico and Costa Rica. that sort of stuff. But like, there's a big world out there, and there's a lot of, you have to take responsibility for yourself, and like potentially even risks if you don't know your surroundings, getting lost or whatever it might be. So I can imagine, being those bigger gigs, and especially for the artists you're playing with, being in a new country has got to be a hell of an experience and a learning experience. So,
Hmm. So I would say what John Legend, uh, Ro James. I want to say lasted for almost 3 or 4 years, something like that. I want to say I stopped doing Ro James in about 2018.
okay.
So yeah, that was uh yeah 2018. I stopped doing Ro James like the middle of 2018. June 2018 was my last show with Bro. But you would say so John Legend during the month of 2015. From there to Row for up until 2018, and then I think I was on like a bit of a break for a while, and then I got the chance to do the tour with Brian McKnight, which was really cool because that was him and Brandy. So I got a chance to have personal hang with Brandy. I was like, oh man, you actually real cool. That's
That's a
like
sexy tour. That's a very classic 90s sexy music tour right
yeah,
there.
yeah. I was like, yo, this is kind of cool, man. I like this. I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I was born in that era, so I enjoy being in that music, being just growing up hearing that music, and then again, like you said, being able to get on stage and say, "Oh man, like these are love songs people play all the time." Like people like one, like a dream come true. It was like,
Yeah.
whoa, playing this song on stage. Just, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know. It was really cool.
Yeah. I danced at my junior prom to this song. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be a crazy feeling. I can only imagine.
Yeah, it was really cool. I enjoyed
Yeah. It's one
it.
thing to cover a song that you are like closely related to, and like just
That,
the crowd feeling of everyone loving that. It's a whole other level when like you're like the most legit person
and
covering that song.
because you're on big shows like that, so you're like playing whatever your favorite drums are at the time, your favorite cymbals. If you got the
Yeah.
sound, it's like, man, I get to do like really recreate this song for y'all live. Oh yeah, let's go. Oh, it was fun, man. I really love it. I love
That's awesome.
it. What happened after that? That's when I started filling in for Lauryn. I want to say, well, you say like I said, 2015, but it was like really spurt. Like I would do like one show every blue moon, then I wouldn't do nothing, then do rehearsal, then do nothing. So like I would say 2018, I started becoming more frequent, like just like going to the house more, going to rehearsals more, stuff like that, doing more shows. That was like a really fun.
Nice. How long are you waiting at rehearsals? No comment. It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm just playing.
yeah. It's great. I kind of I guess in a sense know the system maybe
Yeah.
like that. Like if I get a time, I know what she's probably not gonna be there then. Like I'll just get there a little like a little while after. I mean, for the most part, you try to get there the time they ask for, just in case you need to do like ahead of time before she gets there, stuff like that. But if it's one of those days where it's like we were just for night and we got to come back tomorrow, and it's like she's probably not gonna be there at let's just 10 o'clock, and it's like, well, she's not gonna be there at 10. I'll probably get there like 10:20. Kind of chilling. Still within a good time, but not like too out. And then whatever time she gets there, I won't say no comment. But
Once again, that's awesome. Good for you, buddy.
it's an amazing experience. She's really cool.
So how is I mean, that's a long time, That's a decade of doing, some serious stuff, and now we're where we are now. What is how is that? What is the feeling going through your head when it all happens, and like just where we're at now that we're 4 months into, most musicians can all agree and have that feeling of like, we've never gotten this long without playing or like having musical communication with another human being.
Man, this like sucks. You know what? I want to say I had to start looking at the glass. You have a lot of times where it's so easy to say, I'd rather be on stage
Yeah.
or like all these kinds of things. Like I would love to say I'm doing all of that, but at the same time, you get a lot of time. A lot of people, especially for us, you have a fiance. I have a son. Um, I'm still learning production, like as far as being able to sit down and work within Logic and everything like myself, and be able to choose like sounds I want and all that kind of stuff. Creating tracks on my own, like these are things now people have so much more time for than I didn't have before. So now it's like, you know what, I can actually take the time to go and learn these things. Like I actually, that's funny. Whipper baby gets on. I literally was going to say I just started learning how to play bass recently. Just kind of messing around, doing a lot of stuff with tracking with my brother bass who just got. But it's just basically a lot of stuff that I feel like with time of not being allowed to do anything else. It's like, well, hey, why not take the time to learn something else? Why not take the time allowed to say that the live scene is open again, that you are now a new creature being, somebody now be able to do something else. I might be able to engineer a session and this is all said and done. I run somebody's session, I can run tracks, whatever you do at that time. It's like these things are now a lot more to do, or a lot more than it would have been. We were all just running around on, shows, this artist playing here. I know for us with Star Kitchen, we were basically planning, a year of shows, and you're talking about a book of shows, which means you really won't have time for other things. Downtime you have to make that time for her. And then when you don't rehearsing, you have to make the time for being with your family, other important things that, keep the life ball rolling. So now it's like, well, do I really get the chance to learn how to do production and all of that? No, you find yourself only doing a few a day or none at all. Well,
Sure.
have no choice but to get better at this. And come out of this, you have, a reason to say I can do now more than one thing. I know for me, somewhat singer sometimes, I'm still working on my artistry, but now that I've gotten into that, it's like I can actually say now I can do more than just play drums, more than just sing. It's like if I need to go and sit and do something in the studio, if I need to session, if I need to mix the drums for my track that I'm playing to or whatever, I can do myself now, and I don't have to ask the next man, or I don't have to ask a third man or whoever. Like now you've taken it yourself. So I
Yeah.
mean, look what works.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. If you like going into this, like you said, you have to look at it that way. And I was talking about it the other day of just the fact with my fiance of the fact that there is so much that, it is tough. And with everything that's going on, and I mean, there's a lot going on, but even just to be hyper focused on the one aspect of not touring, that it gives us the opportunity to do so much more to learn those new skills,
Yeah.
and to spend time doing the things you normally wouldn't get to do, and be with the people you want to be with. So it's definitely, like you were saying, it's great. I mean, I've had the opportunity of just, well, I finally have a drum kit or a
Mm.
playable kit in my space because I'm in an apartment. But for 3 months I didn't, and it was a bit much because
Really?
yeah, I all I had was a pad. So I was teaching from a pad and playing on a pad. So my like reading and sight reading was getting stronger than it's been in years. So focusing on that aspect, at least I'm getting tighter at reading again. But yeah, now I have the kit here and it's quiet. I have the EAD10, so it's triggered and
Oh,
kind of recorded. What was that?
you said the Yamaha EAD10.
Yeah, so it has like the triggers with it and the microphone system, and with mesh heads and this like low volume Zildjian cymbals, it actually like sounds pretty good. Throwing a little bit of reverb and just like triggering some stuff on here, being able to work on things in the apartment and be hyper focused on various techniques or styles and things to play. So that's been great, going on like a bunch of hikes and exploring nature more, and especially now because there's not really anywhere else that you can go, you know. And being in Philly, for me at least, it's like it's kind of tough with how I'm responding to the current pandemic of just like walking around the city streets is not exactly like there's still like an edge of at times not feeling safe. Whereas when you're in the middle of the woods, like maybe there's like one or two people that walk by every like handful of minutes, if not like 5-10 minutes without seeing anyone, if not longer, depending on where you're at. But like here, that's not really the case. And I mean, we're in an apartment building, a lot of people not wearing masks. So it's kind of just even leaving my small space here is kind of sketchy, or at least it feels so to me. So
Totally understand, because even going grocery shopping for kids, like I'm looking around like you're too close. So you're too close. You got backed
at
up.
least everyone has masks though in the I mean, at least it seemed to me there's some people not wearing them properly or like taking them off, but for the most part, like everyone has masks. In my building, like people aren't even wearing them at times. It's alarming.
Well, I mean, hopefully they got a good disinfecting system.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's pretty wild. Yeah, they need to have some Lysol spray on hand, like in the little containers or something, just spraying every.
Yeah, they've got that stuff out. Apparently, I'm paying attention to a lot of things and what's going on, and just as many updates as possible. And there are like apartment buildings that aren't putting out any of that stuff. At least they have disinfectant in like pretty much every corner of like the main lobby.
Yeah, that's great, because any building that's not doing that's like a violation.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not good.
but it's rough. It's definitely made me realize that having space, like just changing, like being sucked into this situation, like you're saying, learning new skills. Like I don't have a way of recording drums. I don't have a way of like teaching full drum set kind of situation. So I got to like think of new and creative ways to be able to do that, which is great. But it's also made me realize that like having a space, I need a space where I can, you know, record, practice, teach, you know, and just be kind of set. It was rough not having that forever, and just that thing that you love, you've been doing your whole life, and then all of a sudden to not do that. I mean, when we go on the road and we have, you know, we've been out for a while, coming back, sometimes it's not nice to get away, but not like you always have that option of going to play if you want to.
Story, like, you know what? You just sit your behind in the house. What?
Yeah.
What are you?
Yeah. Been put in timeout.
No way. I want to go. Let me out. Let me out. I feel like I'm in jail sometimes. Like, let me out. I want to go. No, really, man. Like, I totally understand, bro. Like, that's kind of what made me start. I have a friend named Deontay Satchel. He's a great dude. Been friends pretty much since high school. And I trust him. And his mom is like, she works in like the health department doing stuff with different like government departments and stuff. So she has like all the cleaning and stuff, supplies and everything in the house, all of the good things. So it's like, and his studio is at the back door in the basement, bro. If I can't play drums until this is over, I am probably gonna go crazy. I need to play somewhere. And he's like, bro, you can come over here. So it was like I started going over there, and man, it started working out a little bit. Then I started recording songs, kind of playing songs for people or recording videos just to kind of keep myself up. Even now, and it's like, it gets a little. It's like some days you're like, record a video today, just to what? Just to record a video. It's like I'm not getting paid for it. I'm really working. Now I'm just recording videos just to keep content going on my Instagram. It's like that's basically what I'm working for right now. This doesn't feel fun. Like this is sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I haven't done anything, and like I'm starting to think about wanting, you know, I need to put out some content and do all that. And it's important. I know that just in general, but also for me. But yeah, like you're saying, like there's definitely an aspect of it musically where, you know, and once again, you have to look at it as like the glass is half full, and just learning a new important aspect of what you're doing, if not a new skill in general, but definitely musically speaking, like, you know, recording content and editing that content, whether it's audio or video, like not everyone can do it. I mean, you can definitely learn it on your own, but like it's definitely a skill set that is important. And
Yeah,
right now too, like we have an idea of when this is all going to end, but we don't necessarily know. And to be able to have this situation where you can record content, write music, the only aspect is working with other people live, but you can still work with other musicians
yeah,
and collaborate. It's just, I mean, I know for me especially, and from what I've seen with your playing, and I know with Star Kitchen, like there's a lot of improv that's very much like it's not just the classic. You've got this your time to shine between bar 100 and whatever, like it's not
mm,
like that. It's like just go for it and whatever organically happens. And you can't truly do that with our situation. So that's a tough aspect. But you can definitely still write music and collaborate and even just save those sections of goofing off or see what happens. Maybe you figure out a loophole to this to this situation of
so
soloing on top of each other.
it's funny. We did that with Star Kitchen. Well, try to. You
Yeah.
still you got me?
What was that?
No, I was saying we tried to do this with Star Kitchen. We have a few videos we did. Did you watch the Justice Comes Alive thing?
No, I didn't get to see any of that stuff.
Well, I know we did a couple of videos, and we always kind of get into that, like, how are we going to do this song when we're not around each other? Because it's like, all right, because I start all the songs, so I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, I'm gonna play this song, thinking like in my mind, all right, Rob might go here, Danny's probably gonna go here, like Mark is gonna play around here, play this here, play. It's like I'm trying to guesstimate what
Yeah.
my play, man. It's like, all right, this is crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that goes into even you can know the player and what they're going to do, but at the same time, there's like that feedback of who knows where it starts, but that person's inspired by something that that person's doing, and then they're inspired by the response. And you just can't do that if you're not together, even if you're not together in the same room with a lag, like, and how video works, unless there's something that I don't know about. I know that there's a couple of softwares or apps or whatever they are that like you can apparently, if you have a really strong connection and your ethernet direct in, you can do like live streaming, no latency. But like, can you, is that real?
I haven't tried that yet. I'm not really sure how well that. I,
I don't think
I
it works. Even us talking, there's a little bit of a lag. Like I have to wait a second to make sure you're not talking, so I'm not talking over you. But every once in a while, I'm going to talk over you. So if we can't have a conversation with basic words, it's not like we're reading a dictionary or anything. Like you can't play music with this
for real.
system in place. It's just not possible.
No, that's real, man. Briz, what's going on, big bro?
I'm a big fan of you, by the way, Brian Fraser Moore. So thanks for tuning in.
We all are, man. He is
Yeah,
the
Philly. I
king,
mean,
right?
that was something I was thinking of when you were talking about playing with all these artists. I was like, I can't imagine what having that kind of gig or what Tony playing with Jay-Z when you get to play like some of those songs, at least for me, where it's like anthems.
Man, like I still listen to Briz. I'm sorry, I gotta do this. I still listen to 8701, man. That Hey man, that's a classic right there, man. I learned a lot. You make me man, bro, killing it. But that kind of stuff, man, it's like when you learn those classic records, you get like that feeling from you hear live shows where guys have been able to capture the essence of the song, but then give you a little taste of them too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what? Yo, that's crazy. I want to be able to do that. And I feel like after a while, while getting older in this, like, man, that's what I strive for, listening to people like Briz, the OGs that have been able to thrive and be able to continue to do this for years. Just like, cats that you got a lot of cats that come and go, but these cats have been doing years. Like, it's like, man, how do you stay up on this, man? It's amazing, man. This is definitely like all motivation for me.
Yeah. See, he's right. You have been doing it.
Bro,
Keep doing it.
man, that's what it's all about, man. Just trying to capture the essence, man, and continue to push, man. Continue to go hard.
For sure. Well, I'm looking forward to a bunch of shows and tours and festivals and all sorts of that. Hopefully, by next summer, we'll be running into each other again at festivals.
Yeah, hopefully sooner than that. This is
I mean,
crazy.
we're in Philly, so it's like you're close, but even so, it's like you gotta wear a mask. You're like 6 feet apart. I'll meet you outside in the park.
I was about to find a park somewhere, set up some drums, and just play 6 feet apart and shed a little bit.
I'm down. I got this little kid here. It's
Yeah,
easy to
man.
take around. Let's
I got little Tama ready to go.
let's figure out a way to do it. We got to talk to Ethan. I know that he's playing in the middle of the woods doing stuff.
We can make that happen.
Let's get a really safe outdoor social distance drum shed
Please.
situation going down.
Nah, for real, man. I'm totally with you, man. We definitely got to get a nice little safe situation going because not being able to be, hanging out with you guys, not being able to play, not being able to fellowship, I mean, that's a lot. Honestly, that's half the battle for me most times. Playing and seeing people, the fellowship. It's not just being able to play. It's able to capture the essence and being around you, somebody that I've felt like I've hung around for a long time, or somebody that I feel like I just want to learn from. Somebody I feel like, you're an amazing artist, or man, you're a killing drummer, or you're a killing bass player. But like once you start people, you start talking, you realize, man, you created friends now, you create relationships. But it's like a lot of times right now you can't do that. I'm building my friendships and relationships through social media, through text messages, through like email. It's real impersonal. It's not as fun.
Yeah, I hear you. It's sometimes like it's crazy with the technology and everything that we do have because there's a lot of like relating to like what happened in the last pandemic with in 1918 and we have all of this. There's so much for like a pandemic now to be completely grateful for that like 100 years ago was a whole other situation. Like science and what actually matters even aside, like the the technological advances of like being in communication with your family or doing shit like this, like
I wasn't gonna say that too. Like it's crazy.
I mean it's unheard of. So it's like you can't really. That's the thing that I remind myself of as often as I possibly can, especially when things are really down and it's hard to sometimes. Is that like at least we live in the time that we do now. There's a lot fucked up with it, as we know from a political and racial and so many stances. But there's also a lot to just like be happy that we have and be grateful for.
Yeah, yeah. Politically, man, we just gotta just keep pushing for quality and showing each other. That's really. I'm always going to think that a friend of mine that passed away years ago. A lot of us, that were on here today, guy's name is TC. But around the time he passed away, he had a hashtag around where it was like love around. Like a lot of times people miss the mentality of that. They forget that love doesn't just based. It's not just based on who you. I don't have to show you love just because I like you, just because I know you. It's like I can show you love because I feel like you're a human being. I
Yeah.
feel like I want you to be happy. I want you to be loved. I want you, all those kind of things. Where it's like when people do that, I feel like the world grows. But as we continue to sit in I guess the area we've been in, it's terrible, man. So I just people and just hope, find a way to do better. And
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about just showing some love and at the very least respect for others and what you want and putting away all the bullshit because it's all man-made crap that doesn't really exist. Like no matter what it is on the most basic level, like we're all human. And there, even at times, like because we're all human, there might even be mistakes that we make, and we need to not necessarily just put all the pressure on the worst that person's ever been, as long as they are able to make a change and show respect, that's what's ultimately important. Is it still just comes back to that same concept of love and respect as much as you possibly can.
Mhm.
And I think now it's more of a thing too of people realizing not only that that is the case, but even if they knew it, that like we're all in this together. And if you see something that's wrong, like you should, in the most polite way possible, if you can be polite, let people know that like they're like that's not cool, and we're all brothers and sisters and need to like make sure that everyone is taken care of in the best way that we can, as long as it's not putting ourselves in danger. Like, what harm could it possibly do?
No, seriously, man. It's- uh, Even sometimes, I mean, if you feel like it's a danger, sometimes as long as it's not like a life threatening danger, sometimes
Yeah,
put your neck out there and say, "And look, I know it's a little right now for me to say this, but you could be, you could be a better person. You could be a better person. You don't have to be like this. You don't have to be like this. And especially if you know somebody in power, and it's like, hey, man, stop being like that. Like,
yeah,
you know,
totally,
you know,
100%.
career, but at the same time, it could really, kind of like Kaepernick. It was dangerous for his career to kneel, but at the same time, like, hey, man. He's being a part of a reason why the world is, slowly starting to change, even if it's taking baby steps to happen, but slowly starting to change because of people like that were willing to take a chance.
Yeah, and what a amazing thing to be known for, and what an honor to be also remembered for that change. Because at the end of the day, like sport can be inspiring, and there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
a lot of talent and fun behind the concept of what it's behind, whether you're a fan or a player. But like that's something that is super noble to be held on to and like go down in history with your name, make you know those around you
That's
super,
major.
yeah. Well, I feel like this thing's about to probably bark at me any minute anyway. Is there anything you want to address or say before we go? You got anything
Um,
fun and interesting coming out you want to promote?
well, Star Kitchen does have a record coming out on Friday. It's called
Nice.
Entirely. Well, not a full record. It's actually a single. It's coming out through Color Red's label. Um, we have Eddie Roberts and Nate Worth featuring on the record.
Nice.
It should be pretty cool. I'm excited about it. Our first song coming out. We got a couple tunes we wrote already. We finally actually have a tune coming out. People can actually get the chance to hear it, pick it up, and check it out. So I'm excited about that. I feel like that's big for us also. Too, because people only really have gotten a chance to see us live. They haven't really gotten a chance to even be able to say, hey, tell a friend about Star Kitchen. It's like, oh, what? Go to our Instagram or maybe go to Nugsnet. Some people don't even have that. Then it's like,
Yeah,
how do you check Star Kitchen out? Friday, July 17th.
you
And
heard him.
be all excited about it.
Well, I'm happy for you, and I know Danny's on here. I'm happy for all you guys. Congratulations on that. That's huge. And yeah, we'll be back soon. We definitely will be hanging. We'll figure something out.
Heck yeah, man. We got to do this again. I
Uh,
really enjoyed it. Next time it'll be Scotty's day, guys, because we're going to get to learn more about Scotty.
nah, man. Well, peace, brother. Much love. Stay safe out there. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Man, you do the same, man. Much love.
Peace. That was Marlon B. Lewis, everyone, whoever's still on here. Um, I need to double check on next week's. So usually I announce on Mondays who the next guest is going to be officially. So take a look back, and every Wednesday, 8 p.m. here, Eastern Standard Time. Love you too, Brian. Love you, Danny. I will see you guys soon. Peace.